Hello everybody and welcome to episode 35 of Weird Mind Newsroom. And we have quite a lot to talk about this week in particular. We got a couple of new releases to come out from films, shows, and games. We got a small handful of trailers, and we got a lot of news stories, two involving a particular actress, some adaptation news, some horror news, and all that good stuff. So, let's not waste too much time. Let's get right into talking about what's out this week.
On Wednesdays, we wear pink.
So the first of the releases for this week is getting a little bit more pink and some musical pizzazz, as we have the release of the all-new version of the 2014 cult classic of Mean Girls. Now, this will follow the same story as the original, that will see a girl named Katie become part of the head group known as the Plastics, which is led by the all-powerful Regina George, and soon will become part of them, and then find a way to tear them apart and take their power down. Now, the reception of this film has been decently received, with praise for its performances and the new tone from the original, with a new mix of like the social media aesthetic and like the musical aspects. But some still see the original better overall, and some feel a little mix on the whole musical aesthetic. But if you want to check it out for yourself, then you can check out this new version out now in cinemas. And now, speaking on something with the television side of things, this is a bit of a weight and a musical tone to it as well, similar to the last one. We have received, after 5 years since the original pilot launched on YouTube, the long-awaited first season to YouTuber VisiPop series of Has-Been Hotel. Now, this will follow Charlie, the Princess of Hell, who has created a hotel to give the inhabitants of the underworld a second chance of redemption to get into heaven before the whole massive cleansing, because hell is overpopulated. And with the help of her friends and some other colourful characters, and the odd song and dance number in there too, we'll find a way to save as many before the underworld falls apart. Now, reception on this series has been very well received for its animation, its charm, and its humor, and its songs, and it may be seen as a long way release that sort of paid off. And if you want to check it out for yourself, you can watch the first 4 episodes right now on Amazon Prime, with new episodes releasing every week. Also, just a bit of a side note, this series has been in a talking point for the last week, but not in the way of relating to the actual show, but rather it is based on a situation that a YouTuber got himself into by paying $50,000 to make an animation where he basically gets some questionable outcome to it, and that's where I'm going to leave it, because I'm not going to get into it because it's a bit weird. And now for the first big release of this year, besides a game where you can play Pokemon with guns, in video games will be bringing us back to a series that has been lost to the sands of time for about a decade, and that is with the return of a Prince of Persia with The Lost Crown. In this new game, we'll see you take on the role of Sargon, a young member of the warrior clan of the Immortals, and he must travel to the cursed city of Mount Quaff to rescue the kidnapped Prince Kashan. Now, reception on this game has been pretty decently received for its visual look, its story, its gameplay, and being one of the better received games in the series since the original Sands of Time in the early 2000s. And if you want to give it a go yourself, then you can play it now on PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Series X and S, Switch, and PC. And to wrap up all the new releases is with the all-new remaster of the game that holds the record for the most Games of the Year awards, and is back again with an all-new package deal with The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now, this game will follow the same plot as the original, where you will play as Ellie and go on a journey deep into the barren apocalyptic America after a girl named Abby, after she caused a tragic outcome to someone close to you and your community, and will do whatever it takes to get their revenge. Now, this version, like the original, has been getting some pretty good praise, and this new one also comes with some new features, including an endless survivor mode called No Escape, some lost levels not in the original game, with some new features like commentary and skins and much more, and an upgrade price that's not too bad either. If you had the original PS4 version, you can get for like $10. But if you want to check this out for yourself or haven't played it before, now's the chance to do it, as it's now available on PlayStation 5. Now, with that now, that's all the new releases that we have for this week.
That belongs in a museum!
Now, the first of the 2 trailers this week sees us go on an all-new globe-trotting adventure that sees everyone's favorite Nazi-punching, whip-cracking archaeologist star in an all-new adventure with the new game of Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. Now, this game will put you into the shoes of Indy and set in between the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Last Crusade, and teaming up with investigative journalists will discover a deep conspiracy and ancient treasure from a great monuments around the world that will form a perfect circle around the globe. Must use his wits, skills, and of course his trusty bullwhip to outsmart the enemies of the Nazis. Now, this game was announced about 3 years ago, and it's being made by Machine Games, who made the Wolfenstein series, so who better to choose for a game where you have an archaeologist who loves to punch Nazis in the face. And honestly, from the gameplay they show, it looks really well done and sort of very stylized. I'm still looking forward to giving it a try myself, and you can too when the game launches on Xbox Series X, S, and PC sometime this year. PS5, we're not sure yet, but there might be something soon. Now, the last trailer for this week, we've seen Adam Sandler play the comedy roles a lot, but we've also seen him recently take on more serious and mature roles. And it seems this new one will follow the pattern from the all-new film by one of the directors of the miniseries of Chernobyl with Spaceman. In this film, Sandler plays an astronaut sent out on a mission to the edge of the solar system to collect some mysterious ancient dust, and encounters a creature in the form of a giant talking spider from the beginning of time that will help him put his earthly problems back together. Now, the film looks very interesting of a concept and has a dramatic role of a focus of loneliness and past regrets. And as I mentioned, being directed by one of the people who made Chernobyl, it could be a really good character-focused story. And it may be sort of worth a watch, and we can find out the outcome of this new film as it's landing on Netflix on March 1st. And with all of that, that's all the new trailers that we have for this week.
Ooh, we got it! Hey, we got it!
So we have a lot of stories this week in terms of our news section, so I'm trying to fly through as many as I can because it's quite a lot. The first of our stories will be a mix of two that are combined together and relate in terms of casting, as well as the first story involving the actors that we mentioned in this week's news stories. So if you know, we've seen some form of adaptations based on famous musicians over the last few years, including Freddie Mercury and Queen with Bohemian Rhapsody, Elton John with Rocket Man, even soon next month with Bob Marley with One Love. It's only a matter of time before we would see a new batch of musicians or famous faces to get the film adaptation, and this week we got two new ones to share with you. So the first was from an announcement from the end of last week at some of the recent award shows season, where it was announced that Selena Gomez will be taking on the role of famous musician of Linda Ronstadt, and the film will be directed by controversial director David O. Russell, known for his works on American Hustle, Silver Linings Playbook, and Amsterdam. Personally, it looks like this has been a dream role for Gomez, and as I've seen on her social media, and honestly, I think they chose a really great choice, because if you've seen photos of them side by side, or like her age now, she looks very close to the musician when she did in her 30s, so it'll probably be worth a check out when this film arrives soon. And as for the second announcement, comes a day or two as of writing this, or recording this, but it looks like we're getting a biopic based on the somewhat controversial King of Pop of Michael Jackson. Now, it's been confirmed as well that the musician will be played by his nephew of Jafar Jackson, with the first look image of him practicing in full gear posted on social media there on Thursday or Friday. Now, where this will cover the whole story from early career to his passing in 2009 is anyone's guess, but most cases I think it's probably up to his launch of his famous album with Triller and stuff, but I guess we'll find out more about it when we start the filming process soon. But I want to know your thoughts. Do you think there could have been anyone else better chosen for these two roles, or what would your thoughts be for directors for these movies? But what did you think of it all down below in the comment section? Let's discuss it there. Now for some little updates on one of the upcoming releases of next year that I have brought up about 2 weeks ago, and as with some news on the anticipated release of the live-action Minecraft movie. Now, the first of two topics in the story relates to the concept about the film, which is, of course, as I mentioned, a live-action adaptation, and not one that's going to be animated, like a Lego movie or those FMVs you see on YouTube a lot, or even the likes of the Minecraft story mode game. And it does come with its concerns, and this is not glossed over the director of Jared Hess, known for films like Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre. This is well aware of it himself. According to his focus, as he's heading to filming earlier this week in New Zealand, it was a case that his promise was that he wants to respect the material and he doesn't want to have an ugly Sonic situation from the outcome. I don't think a lot of people want an ugly Sonic situation. I mean, did you see him Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers? I don't know. But if you want to know more about the whole situation, that you can check out my adaptation video game history in the thing above or down the link in the description, which I can understand the worries. The film has caused the closure of the studio that does the live action forms of animated characters, but I think then the case that studio also made whatever the fuck this was.
Holy Jesus, what is that? What the fuck is that?
Now, it's too early to speculate on what this will look like, but I'm sure we'll see how this turns out soon, with some footage or set photos begin appearing online over the next couple of days, most likely anyway, over the next few weeks. And as for the second smaller news story relating to this Minecraft story as well, it was confirmed earlier in the week that we had an unannounced funny woman joining the cast. And while that has potentials, you know, some good ones like Sarah Silverman or even like some Maya Rudolph or Kirsten Wiig can be fine, it did have some questions that it could have an actress that's labeled as funny, but to many, not really. But it was announced on Wednesday that this funny woman was now recently Emmy-winning actress of Jennifer Coolidge, which many agreed was a good choice, as she is a good actress. Now, it's unknown right now, as with most of the cast, who she will be playing, but I'm sure we'll get the names and character traits of them all sometime soon, and once I do, I'll update in a later video. But what are your thoughts on these topics about the Minecraft stories, and do you think that, you know, they're making it good focus, that they want to make it good, or do you feel it's going to be in a sort of uncanny valley era? Maybe we'll do a part 2 in the adaptation history or something in the future, I don't know. But let me know what you think of it all down below in the comments of who would you think else is going to join this cast as well, and your thoughts on these ideas. And now for the second week in a row where I'll be delving into all there is in the award season, which we'll have one more next week as there's some nominations on the way on Tuesday. And this is a little quick update on the recently broadcast delayed Emmys from last year that's finally took place earlier this week. The show gave some awards, so let's delve into the topic and what came from this award show. To give a rundown of the big winners from this year's show was with the tying big win with Succession and The Bear both winning 6 awards, and rounding out the top 3 was Netflix's Beef, which walked away with 5 wins. Some of the other winners include winning for The White Lotus in supporting actress role, Last Week Tonight winning 2 Emmys for Best Written Show and Best Writing, Adopt Elementary winning 1, and even Elton John snagged an Emmy completing his full EGOT achievement, which to those unaware is basically when someone wins an Emmy, a Grammy/Golden Globe, an Oscar, or a Tony Award. Now, 2 shows that while getting massive nominations both got sidelined, with the first being of course The Last of Us, which didn't win any in this year's Emmys but did take home the top spot wins of the Creative Arts Emmys. And the other that was caused a lot of complaints recently is Better Call Saul, who over the course of its run was nominated for 53 nominations and in total won none of them, making it a new record. And it's a damn shame, because Bob Odenkirk nearly had a goddamn heart attack and made some of his best acting performance after he survived it. Now, before I wrap this up as well, there's one thing I do want to talk about from the show that everyone kind of talked about on the internet afterwards, and it was the appearance of a goblin. Yeah, there was someone dressed up as a goblin at the Emmys, and for a while I didn't know who it was either. Now, it turned out to be real, and it turned out that this was actually one of the contestants from season 15 of Emmy-winning series RuPaul's Drag Race, which also did win an Emmy and made a great speech about, you know, LGBTQ and stuff. Now, while I thought it was weird seeing that, but after a thought, I think it's not as weird as I would probably wear something as, like, you know, odd and casual wear to like an award show event, or even like, you know, I'd go full garb like this to a convention. So if I get to that level of cosplay, I guess to be fair, it's not the most questionable outfit choices from this year, but I'm not going to get into that because I don't really do too much of fashion. I mean, look at me. Do I look like I know fashion? Because I don't. But what are your thoughts on this award show, and what do you think should have won in general for some of these nominations? Let me know what your thoughts are down below, and I might do a video on talking about the award show and go for each section what I would have picked. But I'll see down the line. And for our next story, we are talking a bit on some films, and the first one, we are taking off to the skies once again, as it looks like we're getting back in the pilot seat and traveling to the danger zone. As was announced earlier this week or late last week, that Tom Cruise is once again possibly gearing up to play aviator pilot Maverick in a third Top Gun movie. Now, it's logical that it was going to be another entry, given that Top Gun Maverick was one of the best reviewed films of 2022, Cruise's highest grossing film of all time, an awards winner and nominee in multiple categories. And I'll say that while I was not the most overly hyped for this sequel in general, I went into it with low expectations and came out pleasantly surprised. It was so much better than I thought it would be, and it was really cool to see in IMAX as well. It was great in IMAX. Now, it's also been confirmed that possibly in most cases that given it's close to Maverick, we'll most likely see some of the other cast like Miles Teller and Glenn Powell return, but we have no idea yet. It's in early stages supposedly, and most cases will be a while before release, but I'm sure it might be similar to Maverick where it gets delayed a couple times. But hopefully, if it's like Maverick and entertaining, then that's all I sort of want from a Top Gun sequel. But what do you think of this, and are you excited for a possible third Top Gun movie, and what are your own thoughts on the first 2 movies in general? Did you like them, hate them, are you indifferent about them? Let me know what you think of it all down below in the comments, and let's discuss what you thought of them. And now, sticking with the movie news, we have the second story that is relating to the news of an adaptation, and this one will be delving into the basis of horror. As was announced earlier this week that we are getting a film adaptation of the 2015 PS4 choice narrative survival horror game of Until Dawn. And this will be directed by David F. Sandberg, known for his recent filming of Shazam 1 and 2, as well as his directing on Annabelle Creation, Lights Out, and for his unique horror short films on his YouTube channel. Now, for those uninitiated for the plot of Until Dawn, the story follows a group of friends who gather together each year at their friend's lodge, basically their friend Joshua, Anna, and Beth's lodge in the mountains. And after a prank goes a bit too far, sees Josh's sisters run off into the woods and never return after experiencing quite a grisly fate. When the remaining friends return to Josh's cabin a year later, they try and enjoy and make it the best weekend as they can, but will soon find themselves fighting for their lives until morning breaks as an ancient evil curses the mountain and watches their every move, waiting to strike. Now, the big question and concern with this being adapted is that the game is known as a choose-your-own adventure-style horror narrative game that uses the butterfly effect, where basically your choice can depend on whether a character lives to the end or dies in the process. So it's a question of how they're going to live or die from dangerous traps, strange masked people, and mysterious creatures, but I'm sure that Sandberg will have something unique and cool with the concept. Or maybe it could be a case like the Spider-Verse situation from last year, where they had like a few different films had like different scenes in different viewings of it, but that's all I know. It's also a question of case of whether or not they're going to get the entire cast back for this game, because there's some big names in this, like Hayden Panettiere and Rami Malek and all that stuff in the movie. In case the only one I feel like might be a bit concerned getting back is Malek, because, you know, he's a busy man and he's an Oscar winner as well too. But I think if they get them all back, it'd be interesting to see, but I'm sure we'll probably find out more about the project soon. What do you think of this? Are you excited to see a film adaptation of this game? And what other horror-based games do you want to see made into a movie or series? Let me know what you think of it all down in the comments, and let's discuss on what games you think could work. And now this next news story is hot, oh, we got it. Hot, yes, we got it. Hot, oh, we got it. Movie news. And the last of the film news for the week is something you probably don't want to hear in January of all months, but we're talking a little bit about Christmas. Now, 20 years ago, there was a film that was made based on a children's book set in the holidays that was made into a feature adaptation and starred Tom Hanks as a conductor that sang a song about hot chocolate and it's fucking catchy shit. And that film was The Polar Express. Now, you may be wondering why I'm bringing this up now, because there has been some rumblings that we might be getting a sequel to this film, and it may be in its early stages as it is. Now, earlier this week, while promoting the new Apple TV series of Masters of the Air, the sequel to Band of Brothers and Pacific that I'll probably talk about next week, the producer of Gary Goetzman, who has worked with Tom Hanks for over 2 decades, made a mention in an interview with comicbook.com that the concept of a second film is being worked on, which to some may be excitement, and to many having nightmares of the 2004 visuals, which granted, they didn't look too bad, but they kind of looked lifeless. Now, it is one of my favorite Christmas films, and I have no idea what the plot could be, but once I hear any more news on this, I will update sometime soon. Probably more near to Christmas, hopefully. But what are your thoughts on a Polar Express sequel, and would you be interested in seeing it? Make it sound like I want you to come with me and say, hey, wanna go see a movie with me? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And now, it may seem that everything was not as it seems with this final story as we come full circle, as we have one last story that talks on the actress herself of Selena Gomez. And it's not anything bad, but rather it's some news that may have a lot of people excited. Now, to many, most would know her for her music, her cooking show, or her performance in Hulu's Only Murders in the Building as Mabel, but to a large majority, she is known as a Disney Channel star, and from her show that made her a star with Wizards of Waverly Place, a series that saw her being part of a family of wizards and trained to be the next all-powerful wizard in the family, while getting into hijinks with her siblings and against other magical creatures like vampires, werewolves, and all other stuff. Now, it has been 12 years since the series ended, and many talks of revival has been discussed over the last 5 or 6 years. But now, those prayers have been answered, as on Thursday evening, it was announced that a sequel series to Wizards of Waverly Place was in the works over at Disney, and we'll see Gomez and her co-star David Henry return to appear in the show and also to executive produce the series. Now, the series is going to focus on Justin, who has given up magic to care for his wife and 2 sons. But when trouble brews at WizTech, the wizarding school from the series, and sees a powerful young wizard named Billy appear at his door, Justin will soon be back to his teaching magic and may get some help along the way. Now, as of what we confirm as of now, Selena Gomez is only in the pilot episode, and it's unclear if she'll be a cameo character or guest star instead of a regular. And it's unknown if some of the other characters like Max, Cherry, Teresa, Harper, or any other of the cast in the original will appear or tell of how certain relationships ended, but I'm sure we will hear more about this series over time as it develops, and once you hear anything, I'll update you in a later episode. But what do you think? Are you excited for this planned sequel series of Wizard Waverly Place? And do you think it will do well? Or are you excited for it at all? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. And with that, that's all the news that we have for this week.
About a round of golf.
That brings us to the end of episode 35 of Weird Mind Newsroom. It was quite a lot, I must say. Just to give a few updates on some of the upcoming stuff on the channel. Reviews, I need to get some work on stuff. I started a little bit on some little bits there during the week. Like, probably gonna do Barbenheimer first and maybe some other live action ones. Added to the list of some reviews now. I did see Aquaman 2 last night. Decent. I'll probably delve more into it in a review. Do Godzilla Minus 1, a few other ones. Basically, it's a few lists of stuff. So, like, basically, I didn't put the comments in last week. Might do it this week. Which is basically gonna list off the stuff that was announced. So, like, I'm gonna do the Marvels, Godzilla, Barbenheimer, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, Godzilla Minus 1, Wonka. I'm gonna do Tears of the Kingdom, Red Dead 2. I'll probably do Mario Wonder when I start and finish it, kind of thing. I'll do a mix of stuff. There's definitely gonna be some things. If you have any other things you want me to review, let me know in the comments below or even on my socials. I will definitely probably review and see if I've watched them and get my thoughts on them. There's a few long form videos I want to do on some certain things. Like I want to do one on animated series that kind of was overlooked back in the early days that last for one season, but I'll get to it when I get to it. Rewatch-a-thon, I'm going to try and get done the next couple of days. I'm working around the case of a certain work experience I'm doing right now on a radio station, so I need to kind of work bits and pieces in there at the moment. So hopefully maybe in the evenings I can watch the episodes, but I'll see when I get to it. And last bits, I'm going to try and get some long form videos done, like some essay ones. So I'm going to do that. Anticipate stuff for this year. I'm going to get in some other things. I'm going to try and get gameplays set up and sorted out some point soon. And yeah, that's essentially all I can think of at the moment. If you have any ideas you want me to see do, or you have any special anything you want me to talk about in a special segment, like you want to promote or anything, let me know. I will gladly promote it. I want to build a community, so let's do it. Yeah, that's where I'm going to leave the episode for now. So if you enjoyed this video and want to check out more of my other stuff or see me update more regularly, then you can like the videos and subscribe if you haven't already. I enjoy building this community, and I appreciate all the support and reviews, likes, comments, shares, or anything. Just even seeing I exist is great, and glad that you exist too. Comment below on all the stuff that's been discussed this week. Have you seen any of the new releases? Have you watched the trailers and give your thoughts on them? Or what's your thoughts on all the news stories? Like, I just want to hear your thoughts on them. Like, I'd love to have a discussion, conversation with a lot of people, so let's build a community on that. And yeah, that's where I'm going to leave it now. So I hope you enjoyed listening to my ramblings, and as always, stay being wonderful people, because you all are wonderful people, and have a great day every day, doing many great things, because I know you all are destined for great things. Especially one person out there, I know they will be destined for great things, or everyone is as well. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. So take care, everyone, and goodbye.